Now let's look at what is meant by foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange market is the market for foreign currencies or where foreign currencies are traded. In a foreign exchange market, exchange rate means the price of the currencies, or in other words, exchange rate specifies the rate at which one currency can be exchanged for another. For example, $1 is equal to 85 taka. That means exchange rate of dollar is 85 taka. So price of $1 is 85 taka. So exchange rate simply indicates price of a currency. Now let's look at foreign exchange quotations. If you go to a bank, you'll find that there are foreign exchange quotations. Banks denotes foreign exchange quotations at bid price and ask price. Bid means buy and ask means sell. For example, if you see in your bank that bid rate of dollar is 84 taka. That means if you want to sell dollar to your bank, the bank will give you 84 taka. And in the meantime, you might see that ask rate of dollar is 85 taka. That means if you want to purchase dollar from your bank, you have to pay 85 taka for each dollar. That means, in other words, bid rate of dollar means that's the purchase price of dollar for bank, and ask rate of dollar means that's the selling price of dollar for bank. We can find out the difference between bid and ask price with bid and ask spread. The formula is simply ask rate minus bid rate divided by ask rate. And bid ask spread shows the bank's cost of conducting foreign exchange transactions, or in other words, it could be the profit for bank of conducting foreign exchange transactions. Let's look at the example of bid ask spread. So over here there are two currencies, British pound and Japanese yen. One British pound is equal to, as per bid rate, $1.52, and as per ask rate it is $1.60. So the bid ask spread of British pound is 5%. And for Japanese yen, bid rate is $0.0070 and ask rate is $0.0074. So the bid ask spread of Japanese yen is 5.4%. Now let's look at foreign exchange quotations. There are direct quotations. Direct quotation means value of one unit of foreign currency against domestic currency. For example, $1 is equal to 85 taka. So that's the direct quotation of dollar. And here is an example which shows that €1 is equal to $1.40, or euro is equal to 1.40 per euro. So that's the direct quotation of euro here. And indirect quotation means value of foreign currency against one unit of home currency. So for example, the euro 0.7143 is equal to $1. Over here it shows that $1 is equal to 0.7143 euro. So over here it is showing that value of 1 unit of home currency, that means here we are considering home currency as dollar, against 1 unit against the foreign currency. Over here the foreign currency is the euro. We can find the indirect quotation with this formula. So as per this formula, indirect quotation is equal to 1 divided by direct quotation. So in the direct quotation example, 1 euro is equal to 1.40 per euro. So if we divide 1 divided by direct quotation, that means 1.40, 1 divided by 1.40, we'll find the indirect quotation of euro, which is euro 0.7143. Now currency's value often increases and decreases. So if a value of a currency increases, we say appreciation of currency. For example, a value of $1 increases from 84 taka to 86 taka, we'll say that appreciation of dollar against taka. It also indicates that depreciation of taka against dollar. And if a value of currency decreases, we call it depreciation. For example, a value of $1 decreases from 85 taka to 80 taka, we'll say depreciation of dollar against taka. In the meantime, it indicates that appreciation of taka against dollar. Now let's look at cross exchange rate. Cross exchange rate shows the exchange rate between two foreign currencies. For example, exchange rate between dollar and euro will be considered as cross exchange rate in our context, that means in Bangladesh context, or exchange rate between Indian rupee and US dollar will be considered as cross exchange rate in our context, that means in Bangladesh context. Here is an example of cross exchange rate. It is in US context. Say value of peso is $0.07 and value of Canadian dollar is equal to $0.70. So if we want to find out the value of peso against dollar, value of peso against Canadian dollar, or value of Canadian dollar against peso, that will be the cross exchange rate between peso and Canadian dollar. So here is a calculation of cross exchange rate. So over here we are trying to find out value of peso in Canadian dollar. It will show what is the value of Canadian dollar against 1 unit of peso, or in a simple word, 1 peso is equal to how much Canadian dollar. So with this formula we can find out it. So it is value of peso in dollar divided by value of Canadian dollar in dollar. So we know that value of peso is in dollar is 0.07 and value of Canadian dollar in dollar is 0.70. That means is equal to Canadian dollar 0.10. So it shows 1 peso is equal to Canadian dollar 0.10. We can also find out value of Canadian dollar in peso. In that case, we have to reverse this formula.